Welcome back, movie lovers. I'm Josh.
I'm Chris.
And with our powers combined, we are Garner Brothers Movie Lovers. We're back today to talk about the movie Shazam! Fury of the Gods. It is the sequel to Shazam, the first one. And yep, it's the next one. That's all.
Okay. Film stars and is directed and written and produced by all the same people, with the addition this time around of Helen Mirren, who you don't typically expect to see in a movie like this, Lucy Liu, and Rachel Zegler.
So we haven't done the first Shazam movie, so just to let you guys know what we feel about that one, that is probably in my top 3 DC EU movies.
I think that the first Shazam film is the best in that universe. It's my favorite. It was the first film I saw from them that actually was fun. I like it a lot. I like the comedy. I like the characters. I thought it was really well acted. The CG was real janky, but I was okay with that. I loved the origin, like a 13-year-old superhero messing around with powers.
Yeah, Zachary Levi's really good at being a preteen boy.
Shoot him in the face. There's just so many things in
that
movie.
What?
It kind of tickles. You're dead.
And yeah, Zachary Levi does an excellent job acting like a kid. He seemed more like a kid than the child actor who was playing that same character. So...
yeah, but it also didn't seem weird that he was more like a child, because I think maybe because a kid in a normal life would not be as excited as a kid who figured out that he's a superhero now who looks like an adult.
That's true.
So it all worked well.
Yep.
And it still does in Shazam 2. He still does a real good job. And at the end of the first Shazam, everyone becomes Shazam. And the whole family of foster children all become Shazams at the end of the movie. And there's another girl who is particularly good in this movie. But the actress who portrays the youngest girl is real good at that.
Yep. There are a lot of Shazams in this movie, but I think they do a pretty decent job giving each of them some character and letting each of them be funny and have something to do. There's a couple of them maybe that don't have as much to do as the others, but they're still fun to watch. There's a lot of chemistry between all these actors and between all these characters, and I had fun with the film. I laughed a lot.
It was really funny. It was, I would say, probably as fun and funny as the first one was. I laughed just as much, I would say. So that actress's name is Megan Good, and she did a great job. As far as pretending to be a little child goes, she was the standout in this movie. She was
nailing it.
It was really funny. It went pretty smoothly for probably 3/4 of this movie. I thought it was working really well. And it kind of petered off a little bit at the end, but it was still pretty fun. When we were walking out, it was still a fun movie to go see.
Much better than the tomato meter would suggest. And I will say, too, I think the bad guys in this one are more nuanced than a lot of your superhero bad guys. I actually kind of like their backstory. I think they have a legitimate reason to do the things they're doing.
Yeah.
They have some legitimate grievances. They don't see eye to eye on everything. And so there's a little bit of depth there that you just don't expect all the time. Certainly more than the bad guy in the first Shazam film.
You are very menacing. I just want you to know that.
I'll tell you what's real weird. Watching Zachary Levi beat the crap out of Helen Mirren, born in 1945. 1945, 1 million years old. This lady getting rocked, thrown onto the ceiling, giant objects thrown on top of her.
She's still alive?
it was pretty horrifying.
Oh, she gives it out as much as
She
takes
does,
it.
but it wasn't as jarring
But
to
it
watch
is
her
weird.
dish it out. Yeah. They were good. The bad guys were good. Yeah, it gets freaking psycho crazy at the end of this movie. Everyone's losing their powers and then getting their powers and then losing them again and then riding on unicorns and saving the day and Skittles product placement right in your face.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most egregious instances of product placement I've ever seen in a film. It's bad.
Yeah, it gets too crazy at the end. It's so insane. It makes a big difference when the part of your movie that suffers is the very end. There's basically no consequences for everyone again in this movie.
We say again because the last one we saw was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, in which all the consequences at the end of that one were undone. So
yeah, which if you're trying to add to a greater storyline, to a cinematic universe, you shouldn't have filler movies. But that's what this was, and that's what Ant-Man and the Wasp was. But this is better than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Agreed.
And it's really sad that a subpar, average DCEU movie is better than the most of Phase 4 from the MCU. That's crazy. That should never be a thing, but it is right now. That's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably like that more than, man, when was the last time we saw a Marvel film that I liked more than this Shazam movie?
Shang-Chi, probably. Shang-Chi, I mean, which
Or
was
did Spider-Man
a
come out
long
after
time
that?
ago. I don't know.
One of those.
Doesn't matter. There was a
Doesn't
bazillion movies that came out for Phase 4, so we'll never remember all of them.
And this is better
Or
than
movies
most
and
of those.
TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But the end does suffer. And it has a horrible, just horrible case of Deus Ex Machina at the end. Or however you say that.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. You're going to have to give me that in layman's terms.
It's the phrase that's used anytime you have a magical, like, solution presented at the end of the movie. Like, we have all these bad things, and then, ta-da, something just saves the day. Like, out of nowhere. There's no setup for it.
That happens
it just
several
comes
times
in.
at the end of the movie.
Yeah, it just comes in, and bam, we're saved.
Oh, yeah, another thing that kind of bugged me is the wizard. At the end, they're like, now he's super fly. And they give him this hat. They're like, we had Pharrell Williams dress him, and now he's going to look like this. Let's rate it. It's time for good, fine, bad.
Good! Fine. Good. Bad.
Fine.
That's bad. That's bad. That's bad.
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
What do you think, Chris?
I think it's fine. And by fine, I mean, like, it's better than, like, fine. Like, when we gave fine to Ant-Man Quantumania, that was like a bad fine. I meant fine. But now I mean fine.
There you go. And I think this movie was just plain old fine. It was just plain old fine. But yeah, that's all. That's it. We're done. There are post-credit scenes.
That probably won't make any kind of difference.
It seems strange since James Gunn is like
redoing
everything.
Yeah.
And we already know that there's only 2 more movies that are relevant to this DCEU. Then why are we doing post-credit scenes? Unless James Gunn brings something over. Who knows?
That doesn't make sense to me.
It's crazy.
If you're gonna
crazy.
reboot everything, you have to be willing to kill your darlings.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're talking about stuff that I don't care about at all. And so there you have it, everyone. We don't have much to say by way of spoilers. You can go see this movie if you like the first Shazam movie. You'll probably enjoy it enough. Yeah, I don't know. You decide. We don't care if you see this movie. But thanks for watching, and thanks for leaving a like, and thanks for telling the whole world about our podcast. That'd be good. We are, I think, breaking YouTube records as the slowest growing YouTube channel in the world. Anyway, thanks again. I just don't know what to do to like get the word out that two random dudes on the internet who talk about movies.
Don't you care, people? This is our opinion we're talking about here.